Good evening, friends. Welcome to Point of View with yours truly, Julius Obregon, and I'd like to welcome you. This is my second episode, which I bring to you every week. And before I start talking more, I would like to just clarify that this program has nothing to do with my ministry as a pastor, but this is plainly and purely a commentary program, and my views and my opinions are just based on my research and my understanding about current events and other information that I probably could share with you. And tonight we're going to talk about President Bongbong Marcos' drive to combat corruption in the Philippines. I was watching a clip of our beloved president in the Philippines as he addressed officials and government leaders in the PICC convention, and I was very impressed of how he explained his views and his purview as it concerns our ongoing issues there in the Philippines about corruption by government and private sector people. President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos Jr. has embarked on an ambitious and a vital mission to, shall we say, eradicate corruption in the Philippines. It is a long-standing issue that has plagued the nation's governance and stifled its economic progress. Now, his administration's introduction of stringent rules aimed at curbing corrupt practices among government officials and the private sector signifies a bold step forward in a country where perceptions of corruption have significantly impacted public trust and institutional effectiveness. Corruption has been a formidable barrier to economic growth and social development in the Philippines, contributing to an environment rife with inequality and inefficiency. Now, there are various surveys, friends, including those conducted by Transparency International, have consistently highlighted corruption as a critical concern for Filipinos. The adverse effects of corruption are numerous. They stifle foreign investments, they drain public resources, and hinder the delivery of essential services. Consequently, combating corruption is not merely a policy choice, but I believe is a moral imperative for the Marcos administration. Stringent measures introduced in this meeting as a response to these challenges. President Marcos has proposed a series of reform measures aimed at fostering a culture of transparency and accountability. Now, these measures include the implementation of stricter auditing processes, regular accountability reviews, and enhanced reporting requirements for government contracts and transactions. Additionally, the administration is focusing on the promotion of digital governance, which minimizes human intervention in processes that have historically been vulnerable to corrupt practices. Moreover, the establishment of a comprehensive whistleblower protection program embodies a critical element of President Marcos' anti corruption strategy. By incentivizing citizens to report malfeasance without fear of retaliation, the administration aims to empower the public as a partner in combating corruption. Consequently, combating corruption is not merely a policy choice, but a moral imperative, as I said earlier. Now, in response to these challenges, President Marcos has proposed a series of reform measures aimed at fostering a culture of transparency. Yung po ang pinag-usapan natin kanina. Ang maganda po rito sapagkat ang ginawa po ng Pangulo rito ay binigyan niya po ng pakakataon ang mga tao, no? Ang mga Pilipino na dumirekta ang kanilang napapansin at ang kanilang mga nakikita na hindi tama sa kilos ng mga uh, leaders po ng gobyerno. At I think it is an allowed President Marcos for allowing the people of the Philippines to have a sort of a direct communication with the president himself. I know that there is a website for that, where in which you can voice out your opinions and make your complaints directly to the to the president of the Philippines. Ang ganda po niyan, you know. Additionally, the administration is focusing on the promotion of digital governance, which, as I said kanina, it minimizes po yung intervention ng mga proseso ng mga corrupt na mga tao. So ito po mga whistleblower ay binigyan po ng parang proteksyon, no? Para po ang hindi sila matakot o kayo para isumbong o sabihin po sa tamang pamamaraan, of course, sa ating pamahalaan. Kung ano po nakikita ninyong mga anomalya at mga ginagawa po ng katulad po ng mga contractors na mga corrupt, no? At yan pong mga tao at mga private sector na mga contractors na ibinubulsa po ang pera na dapat pong nakalaan para po sa pag-ayos ng ating mga problema. Katulad po ng baha, no? Like the funds for the flood control, which is very, very important to all of you. In the midst, my dear friends, of all what you are going through, you know, like disasters and other emergencies that needed attention. And I thank the president for creating this digital opportunity for people to report all of these anomalies and these issues directly to Malacanang. Despite these promising initiatives, skepticism remains over the effectiveness and sincerity of the Marcos administration's anti-corruption efforts. Because we know that the legacy of the Marcos family is intricately tied to past accusations of corruption and human right abuses, raising questions about the commitment to genuine reform. Critics argue that without a clear political will and rigorous enforcement of anti corruption laws, these initiatives could devolve into mere window dressing, failing to achieve the systemic changes needed po sa ating bayan. Now, again, addressing corruption in the private sector is equally challenging. Kahit po may mga strong tayong mga regulasyon para po sa mga businesses that can deter corrupt practices, ensuring compliance. Iyan po importante na matiyak po natin ang gobyerno natin na ang pong mga compliance, yung pagsunod po sa mga batas. Actually, meron mo mga batas na naririyan yan eh, no? Hindi naman pulat ang batas bago. Ang problema lang ay hindi po ito nasusunod. And kudos to BBM, who now has shared the opportunity for us to work together, you know, to build a community or a communal effort for us to police these corruptions going on in our country. So there is a multifaceted approach involving collaboration between government and the industry stakeholders and the citizens pa rin. Now, for President Marcos' drive against corruption, to bear fruit. Kailangan po paano mamumunga o mapapasaayos po itong pong drive ni BBM para po maayos or ma-eradicate na completely po itong mga corruption sa gobyerno. There must be what's this consistency in policy implementation and a transparent evaluation of progress. Transparent po ang pag-evaluate ng progress nitong programa na ginagawa po ng ating Pangulo. No? So, kailangan po consistent yung policies. No? Kasi may mga policies po na hindi consistent, babago-bago. No? Kaya tuloy, nagkakaroon ng pakakataong humanap ng butas ang mga corrupt ng mga contractors o mga ano mo na yung nangangailangan ng proyekto galing sa gobyerno para po nila ika nga i-violate yung mga pinag-uusapang ah, tama at sang-ayon sa ating batas. Engaging civil society, bolstering judicial independence, and ensuring accountable governance are imperative to restoring faith in public institutions. Bakit? Wala na pong tiwala ang mga tao sa ating gobyerno, no? At in fairness, this is my personal opinion, but in fairness po to our president, Bongbong Marcos, we cannot uh, blame him for the actions or the evil and wicked actions of people that are in government. Hindi naman po tama na ipasa po natin sa ating Pangulo ang lahat ng pagsisisi at natuturuan tayo na para bagang ang may kasalanan dito ay ang ating Pangulo. I don't believe in that personally. I think that what we need really is what the President is doing right now. Na magkaroon po ng matindi na mayroon pong assurance sa atin that there is an accountable governance imperative to restoring public institutions. Now, the involvement of international community, along with partnerships with organizations specializing in anti-corruption efforts, can provide the necessary frameworks and expertise to support these initiatives. Now, as the Marcos administration moves forward, it must be recognized that fighting corruption is not a one-time effort, but it is a sustained commitment to reforming governance structures and societal norms. Building trust with the Filipino people will take time, but with determination and transparent actions, President Marcos can pave the way for a more accountable and equitable future. Now, to close, my dear friends, while the introduction of stringent anti-corruption measures by President Bongbong Marcos is a commendable step towards tackling a deeply entrenched issue, the true test lies in the execution and the broader reforms necessary to foster a political culture that unequivocally rejects corruption. Now, the journey ahead is arduous, but the potential rewards in terms of improved public trust and enhanced governance could prove invaluable for the nation. Moreover, addressing corruption in the Philippine sector is equally challenging. While stronger regulations for businesses can deter corrupt practices, ensuring, as sabi ko po kanina, compliance and proactive cultural shifts within corporate frameworks that require a multifaceted approach involving collaboration between the government and workers and stakeholders. Now, ito pong masasabi ko, no, and to close. Tayo po dapat ay magkaisa at tulungan po natin ang ating Pangulo. Kasi hindi po maisa sa tama ng ating Pangulo ang mga problema po natin dyan sa korupsyon kung hindi po tayo nagkakaisa. No? Uh, Kailangan po tayo ay nagkakaisa. No? Involved po tayo. So we should engage ourselves as citizens of the Philippines. Kayo po dyan. Mag-involve kayo at tumulong kayo sa ika nga ay pagmamasid ng mga problema sa korupsyon, at ito po ay dapat nating ah, trabahuin as a people. Hindi po natin madadaan ito sa pamamaraan po ng galit o sa pamamaraan po ng pagiging rebelde. Kasi as this happens po, ay kailangan po ay tayo ay magkaisa at para po ma-build yung trust with the Filipino people. Sabi ko, it will take time, no? Sabi ko nga, na ang ito pong mga nangyayaring ito ay dapat pong uh, suriin ng mabuti. We have to look at these problems not lightly, of course, but objectively, and see all these opportunities that the president has given us to help him police corruption in our country. So I pray po na kayo ay nagkaroon ng impormasyon na dapat yung malaman sa mga, alam ko po nasa dyaryo naman yan at sa mga internet itong report ko. Pero ako po ay natutuwa na ang ating Pangulo po, si PBBM, ay hindi po nagpapabaya sa kanyang pagtanaw ng mga problema ng mga Pilipino. Sapagkat siya po ay makatao. No, he is a president who cares. And that is what we need today. Not only in the Philippines, but in the world, my dear friends. We need leaders who indeed, really, honestly, sincerely care, so that we can we could go above these issues that we are suffering with, like the misuse of government funds and people's money, my dear friends, instead of these allocated finances for the people ay napunta pa po sa bulsa at sa kamay ng mga taong mga korap. Naniniwala po ako na kung tayo po ay magsasama-sama at ating pong tulungan ng ating Pangulo, si PBBM, we will find indeed a way for accountable and equitable, what do you call this, uh, future sa ating bayan. This is your friend, Julius Obregon. Thank you very much for joining me, and I look forward to see you again next time. Good evening